first map is going to be Overgrowth. In the game 1 we have Tefel for Team Dignitas spawning in the bottom left position, and in the top it's going to be the Red Terran player Strelok. I know his name says FXO Strelok, but currently, or at least as far as I know, he plays for Team Cascade along with Dominus Complain Dimaga Cass, who is the team captain, Minato Zeth, a Ro8 Deathmask. That's, I think, the core of their lineup. You know, they have a pretty strong lineup, especially on the Terran side of things with Complain, Cass, and Strelok. Yeah, I think that's a pretty strong lineup. Of course, Dominus, Complain's countrymen, because both of those are from both of them are from Israel. Dominus, arguably the best Israeli player, and has been for the past 1 or 2 years. So let's get back to this match. Of course, Tefel never goes hatch first against Terran, always opens pool first. So it's a pool on 14, probably going to be followed up with a hatchery. In the meantime, Strelok, interestingly enough, as opposed to the majority of Terran players, he hasn't taken a single gas. So he's going to play gasless, old school, and will go for a quick expansion. Look at this, even skipping the Marine, not even getting the Marine out of the barracks, straight for the command center. Tefel is going to see this, of course. In a little while. And is going to adjust his build accordingly. With a gasless opener, you don't need as quick of a gas as a Zerg player, and we can see Tefel did have one on the way, but he did cancel it as soon as he found out that his opponent has not gotten a gas, because this command center is awfully fast. Strelok taking double gas behind this. I'm going to be very interested to see what he does with that, and Tefel reacting by getting a fast third base at 4 minute and something mark. Yeah, that's BelleNOiR's very exact time there. 11 and something, 5 and something, yeah. Usually you, even with a gas that you just get for the link speed as a Zerg player, usually you take the third base at the 6 minute mark. This is a 4 minute mark base, so Tefel definitely scouting what Strelok has been doing, and he definitely is playing to Strelok's one weakness in the build, which is you'll have a slower tech, you'll have slower army, everything is going to be growing slightly slower for you if you open gasless and go for a CC burst. So Tefel still has a little bit of time before he can start getting those gases. The factory is on the way for Strelok, however, so Hellions could be here at the 7:30, or maybe even faster than that, but I'd guess 7:30 is just about the reasonable time you can think about defending versus Hellions. Now, with this gasless opener, Tefel will have a number of queens at his disposal to defend. He only got those 3 and is not getting additional ones, which is going to make it so that the speed at which he connects the natural with his third, with the creep, is going to be a little bit slower. It's going to be hampered by the fact that he's not getting more queens. Dedicated creep spreaders, as it were. So he throws down a Roach Warren in order to be able to not incur too much damage from these roaming Hellions. And an evolution chamber going up as well, coupled with the lair. So, you know, this all plays very nicely into the Roach timing. If you want to go for a Roach Hydra play, which Tefel has been known to do, then this is pretty much the timing you want. Armory on the way for Strelok and a second factory, so he's definitely going to be playing mech with quicker Hellbats. He already has tanks in production. Tefel has to save as many drones as possible. This is where he'll start paying the price of not getting enough queens, or maybe just getting later of a Roach war than he really needed to. Nice target firing from Strelok. Gets every single one of these drones. 11 drones killed. That's a pretty sizable pickup there for the Red Terran. And it is only now that the Roaches pop out of those eggs and drive those Hellions away, so a little bit too late for that. +1 melee attacks going up for Tefel, so maybe he does indeed want to go into Ling Bling Muta, using the Roaches just to stay alive versus the Hellions. Does he know, however, that there's an armory constructed and this is going to be a Hellbat tank follow-up? I don't know. I mean, if Tefel stays on Lings and does not build more Roaches, well, he is getting Glider Reconstitution, so he's maybe thinking, I should be getting Roaches. Or maybe this melee attacks upgrade is a misclick. I don't know at this point. But if he stays only on Lings, he's going to be in a world of hurts. I'm probably going to check for the third base. Wants to know if... Whoa. This is some Gosu Star Sense from Tefel right here. So now he's going to go ahead and scout. Hellion's making another pass at the third base. Still no defenses over here. Just the Queen. Again, Tefel forced to hold these drones away. And still, Strelok not showing his hand, not showing his opponent, hey, I have Hellbat capability, what you gonna do about that? And as a result, Tefel is playing as if he were playing against a later bio-transition. He really does not know what is going on. He did see that medevac, however, but he has zero scouting going for him. He doesn't even know about the third base. And he's just probably going to try and deny the third base from mining. That's not going to help too much. A couple of tanks in position. And these Hellions, still, this is all Tefel saw. Just those four Hellions. Now he's probably going to see those Hellbats as well. Banelings are going to help tremendously against Hellbats, but here comes the drop into the main base. What do we have here in terms of defense? One Queen, and that is it. Tefel is staging a big arc out on the map, trying to knock out the third base, or at least soft containing his opponent, and he goes for it at exactly the same time that he's been dropped in the main base. He pulls the drones away from the middle lines as he tries to annihilate all of Strelok's forces at the third. That's not gonna happen. We have a Thor here and a bunch of tanks. These are gonna drive the forces back, and with just Ling reinforcements, this is not gonna work. In the meantime, 23 drones have been killed this entire time. The main base has been denied mining for a bit. All in all, I think this exchange went very well for Strelok. Let's take a look. 4.3k resources lost versus 2.2. Strelok is in a very good position here with 60 SCVs to his name. Now all he has to focus on is his army production, already transitioning into Raven Tech. And yeah, Mutalisks on the way, Infestation Pits. Tefel doing what he can. He is on 4 bases, remember, so with those 68 drones he's going to have an abundance of income. And every single tank that he can pick off right here is going to be a huge advantage going later on in the game. So blow for blow, but not being as effective as Strelok was so far. 23 kills to 11. Also, the upgraded advantage is not as great for Tefel as it is for Strelok. I mean, Tefel, he's just gonna get his 2-2, but plus 2 vehicle weapons are gonna be done as well. And with those Ravens, you know, Thor's, Ravens, PDDs, that's a nightmare for any Mutalisking player. And once Strelok starts adding more and more Ravens, it's going to be progressively more difficult for Tefel to deal with his army. It's at this point it's almost up to Tefel entirely to make something happen, to figure something out. Because Strelok, you know, he doesn't need to attack at this point. He's getting the army composition that he wants. He gets a tank there. That's a nice pickup always. Has to be careful of those 4 shots, however. Goes into the main base, picks off a couple of turrets, maybe he tries to kill a couple of SCVs. If he can pick off the armory, that would be huge, because that would stop any further upgrades from Strelok for a while at least. Gets a tech clap, maybe? Yeah, so no more Ravens for you. But Strelok already has like 3 of those, so that's quite enough for the time being. And is Tefel going to try to hit the 3rd base? Maybe pull Strelok's army out of position a little bit. He is ahead on supplies in both harvesters and army. The income is not telling that much because, you know, we have mules and shiz. Tefel almost maxed with those 2-2 upgrades. I know. I feel like if he converts all these lings into banelings, he could almost. Nah, there's too many tanks for that to happen. That would never work. But I really like the fact that Tefel is continuously using these mutas to kill anything that he can anywhere. Plus 3 upgrades started. Chitinous plating for the Ultras as well. Is Tefel just going to try and bust this with Ultras? I don't know if that's the correct choice of unit, because I mean 4th Wars. Hell, who knows how many tanks? And Strelok is even building obstructions for Tefel to contend with. Because once Tefel attacks, he will not be able to get a good surround on the tanks. We have a ring of missile turrets around the 3rd base, and supply depots being built here to obstruct the lings and Ultralisks moving forward. So Tefel decides to go the other way around, but this is such a defendable position for Strelok. I mean, he can keep moving between the 3rd base and the 4th base for as long as he wants, and he will probably be able to defend both. It's going to be very difficult for Tefel to catch Strelok off guard. And now that he's almost max, I think he will not be waiting anymore. Tefel going in spite of all this. Half the tanks are not siege, but the positioning for Tefel's army is just horrendous. And he loses all of his banelings. I think he also lost all of his mutalisks. Yes, he did. Has to pull back, and now this is Strelok's chance. He can just go forward. He did lose a lot of his supply, though, so I don't know. I mean, he's got no Thors with this army. So he lost all of his Thors, but Tefel is not replenishing on mutalisks. He's making Ultras and Lings. Against this, Halbats would probably be pretty good. Or a nice line of siege tanks as well. With this 3rd base being a little bit vulnerable right now. Not enough tanks to protect that. Strelok wanting to keep this planetary alive if he can. And Tefel, in the meantime, has taken a 5th base. Let's see how well this goes. The tanks are not sieged. Here come the banelings, here come the Ultras, and everything else that Tefel can send Strelok's way. The tanks are not even pretending that they want to siege. They're just trying to take out the Ultras one at a time. And, you know, these supply depots, they have done tons of work for Strelok right now. He lifts the command center, and he'll be able to mine from this base once the attack is dealt with. And I feel like Tefel, you know, he's just... It's like, I'm going to outmass you. I'm just going to keep on banging my head against your defenses in the hopes that I will break you. Now, this 3rd base is as good as gone, I'd say. There's just not enough units to defend at the time. It looks like Strelok wants to go for a couple of run-bys himself. Probably to the 4th base. No. Goes for the gold instead. Will kill a couple of drones, but yeah, the Italians will not live long enough to tell the tale back home. Because they died quicker than you could say backup needed. Strelok feeling maybe a little scared to attack, but the tank count is just ridiculous right now. 12 tanks with +3 attack. And with Strelok's SimCity, I mean, I really like the fact that he's continuously building buildings in such a way as to make it as difficult as possible for these ultralists to engage. Tefel may lose a couple of these if he's not careful. Goes for a southern flank onto the third of Strelok once again. And this time he may even be successful. He does have a couple of mutas in that army with him, so he may be able to finish this command center. Barely? No, he won't be able to do that. We have 2 Thors there, and just Strelok just unbelievable, securing one base after another. You could say that he may be feeling a little bit uncomfortable with all of this, but finally he has lost that command center, but he still has this planetary over here. And it's not like these ultralists will be able to do much versus this many tanks. At the same time, though, Tefel, you know, he's keeping Strelok busy. This allowed him to get another base over here. And I feel like he has to deny Strelok getting any more bases. And then he'll be able to win just by continuously trading with Strelok and drying him out. But otherwise, I can't imagine that he would be able to win a straight-on battle. Certainly not in a defensive versus a defensively positioned Terran army that Strelok has right now. So Greater Spire on the way as well. Now this could be good for Tefel. Strelok, I don't think he spotted the transition just yet. No, he has not. I mean, he could suspect that, well, maybe you're getting additional tech, but he's not making any Vikings so far. Oh, he's supply blocked, so maybe that's why, but so Tefel pretty much took his half of the map. And Strelok, is he just going to wait until he's maxed and then just go for it? He's like one supply depot away from being 200. But then he has to engage. He has to engage perfectly even so, because the Zerg army is faster to reproduce than the Terran's army. And it looks like Strelok, yeah, he's maxed out and he wants to go forward. Trying to find out where his opponent's army is at. Yeah, he found it. He's gonna go for it. How good is your flanking, Tefel? Oh, Tefel charging into all of those tanks that are sieged up right now. I don't know if this is the correct call. Tefel losing a lot of supply. Immediately trying to replenish with Corruptors, Ultralisks, and Infestors, but if Strelok keeps on moving forward, I don't think he'll give Tefel time. Tefel trying to buy some. Going for a run-by or for a flank with these Ultras and Links, but not having much luck. Strelok just catching all of the angles and pushing the Zerg army away, cutting it off from the reinforcements even. And now Strelok with this almost unstoppable army. What is Tefel to do? I mean, he can go for a counterattack. Does Strelok care at this point? Well, you have no anti-air or air-to-air weapons, so I don't care. I can lift my buildings and then just finish you off with my Imba army. Not a damn thing you can do about it. And with all the overlords gone, Tefel cannot even replenish anymore. Wow! Look at this mayhem! This is like Napoleon storming through Europe. Nobody was able to stop him, and no one is able to stop Strelok either. Or at least not Tefel. Third has been denied mining. The natural will probably be denied mining as well. Maybe even the main base, but Strelok doesn't care. He's got an army that you can't kill. At least not now. Tefel trying to buy as much time as he can. Where do we have those broodlords? Oh, over here. So he's trying to buy enough time for those broodlords to come out. But he won't be able to keep them alive. That is the problem. This is the last stand that Tefel will be making in this game. Tanks are not sieged, so the broodlings will not be forcing the tanks to splash on their own units. The ultralisks will be killed, and once they are down, these broodlords will be dealt with the help of the Thor javelin missiles. Transfusions going off onto the broodlords, but that's all going to be to no avail for Tefel. Supplies showing a huge disparity between these two guys. A couple of fungals to finish things off, but we should see a quick GG out of Tefel. As it is 1-0 to the Cascade Terran.